good morning, YouTube viewers. Good morning, Facebook Nation. Good morning to all people, all colors, all races, all languages around the world, men, women, children. May you have the most beautiful day, and for whatever goals that you have set forth for yourself, as long as they benefit all of humanity, may those goals come to fruition. Today, good morning. Even though it's not morning, but at the same time, if you watch my videos, you know that that's how I'm going to start off, because that vibration itself is a vibration that can carry into any language, no matter what, no matter if the person doesn't understand, you still feel that vibration because you understand what it means. So let's start. First, I want to say thank you, Max, for checking out where I'm at on my other channel. Thank you, for coming in and giving those likes. Thank you also to all the people on Facebook Nation, which is on Facebook. It's not an open forum, and you can't share the videos. So that's done specifically. So Max, that's what you're a part of. So that's specifically just for you, because I want my videos to always be directed to people who really want to understand what's going on in this world, want to understand what's going on in this life, and how to navigate through this life. Because there's a lot of we all know, deception is so rampant. Also, I want to take a break from that, but also I want to say happy birthday, Ramon. Happy birthday, best friend, good brother, and I will be seeing you soon, because the holidays are coming around, and I think maybe even this weekend, but it will be within the next. It will be right before the holidays, and we get to spend some time, and we get all the guys together, and get all the families together, and sit down and eat. Happy birthday! Enjoy your day. May you have the best birthday that you can possibly have. So I want to get into this topic, and the reason I want to get into this topic is because we need it. And as you notice, Facebook, not Facebook, but YouTube is there's a shadow banding that is going on, and I understand, but the people that I have, like I said, I have other venues to get, because the videos are recorded. They're not recorded for YouTube. They're recorded for me, and where I send them to, I send them. So my word is getting out, and for YouTube, pretty much content creators, they'll come in and just check it out, and they may not agree with everything, just like I may not agree with everything that they say. But the thing about me is, when they do take something from it and they put it to their own words, because remember, I'm straightforward, I'm blunt. So these people who take it, they have this pure light as well as I do, and they they put their spin on it to make it more palatable, to the general audience, and they get the word out, and that's what it's all about. Where I was going to do a video on the of kings, because we need female queens, and I named 3 female queens. But when it comes to the men, it's a little different, and it's only one person, and he's a New York Knicks fan. So now I'm talking to you when I say that. New York Knicks fan, awesome. He's not a broadcaster, but he should be, because the guy knows everything there is about Knicks. But this guy also does other things, and he's pure light, and he's one of the only people that I have ever heard outside of myself. When I first had started, I thought that the algorithm, you get 100 subscribers, and your videos go all over the place and things like that. But as time went on, I realized that that wasn't the thing. Especially once I got to around 50, and it was probably between 45 and 50, and advertisers started coming in. And I've noticed that a lot of people who do have pure light that are out here, they're backed by advertisers. So they're limited. So they have to put spins on things. So I can understand that too, but that's something that I don't want. And the person that I was talking about just previously, he was probably the first person I heard outside of myself that said, what, it's not about likes, it's not about subscriptions, it's not about any of that. It's about bringing the truth. And for me, I was like, it's the same, but it's about the message. The message is what's important, because people with light, they have to do things in different ways. Like, some people can come at from a religious point of view and still have pure light. Some people can come from a scientific view and still have pure light. And some people can come from a philosophical or a social view and still have pure light, because we're all trying to bring people into that same direction to make them conscious. And that's what's happening with the world right now. So we can look at the problems that are going on in the world, and we can say that that this is just a changing of times, and this is just how things are. It's like, no, what's happening is there's a lot of different things that are happening. We can look at now we're coming into a new age where the whole universe is shifting. So we're coming into the age of Aquarius. There's a lot of different things that are happening, and consciousness is being expanded when these things happen. Usually when these things happen, catastrophes happen. And you know, most people, you know, they're so busy with, you know, oh, did you hear? You know, social media. I'm going to end on that one. I'm going to explain something about social media where, you know, whether or not you give them permission to go through your emails or anything like that, they do it when you click that button. And I'm going to explain that at the end. But to go back to consciousness, even with the sun right now, our sun is actually turning, because sometimes the poles, I think it's every 11 years, the poles shift on the sun, and they go from, you know, from north to south, and this is what causes all those super flares and all those storms, and its sun burns hotter. So, you know, there's a lot of different things going on within the universe, as well as what's going on as far as the entities that are on this earth, you know, and that's another thing that I speak about in some of my videos about, you know, what we're experiencing on this earth. And, you know, we always we think about possession, we think about the exorcist. Well, that's not how the devil operates. It's not. What you're seeing is how the devil operates. The devil operates where he's tapping the man on the shoulder, saying, hey, you know, you're all down here and there's some nice looking chicks out here, but you're married. You know what I'm saying? And your wife is sitting there. So, you know, you're like, well, that little voice is sitting there saying, hey, you know, go out and do your thing, man. Come back and, you know, just get back to basics. So, you know, we know that there's things that are outside of ourselves that are influencing us, and we're seeing that more so than ever. And even when the part of, to go back to consciousness and why this, you know, why the world right now is going as crazy as it is because the common people are realizing that they're being lied to on all scales, not just from one news station, but from all news stations. They're being, you know, pushed and promoted in different ways, you know, whether it be on their job, whether it be in their religion, whether it be in their, you know, within their family. You know, it's nonstop. Evil never stops. And one thing that is bad, that the evil entity and the negative energy that is on this earth, they don't want people to wake up. And I want to give you an example of this, but I'm going to use, since we were on relationships, I'm going to use relationships where the man is not having something on his shoulder, trying to, the man is trying to meet someone. And it goes vice versa. Same thing with the women. And, you know, you go up, hey, how you doing? And this, and that. And can I get your number? Now you get the number. And as you talk, you know, you're getting to learn the person. And the person is like, wait a minute. This person is just a little bit too smart for me. And this is what you're seeing. And you know, this, you know, I'm not trying to get into the relationship thing because they have people out there, content creators that are really, really good at that. But, you know, people think that, you know, because of rejection, that you're being rejected because, you know, you're being rejected because, you know, there's something wrong with you. No, you can just be an intelligent person that got their shit together, and you're not going to stand for bull crap. And women won't want it. If it's almost like a clay jar. If I can't mold you the way I want you, then you're no good. You know, so, you know, which is dysfunction. It goes against the laws of nature because you're supposed to work together, you know, and we're living in a world now where those things aren't taking place. And I also want to tap into religion. The reason why I don't push religion, even though I've studied theology most of my life, because I had, you know, my mother is in a cult. My brother, he's in a cult. So, you know, even from a young age, I knew that this was a cult. So I tried to learn as much as I could about theology, as I could, all theology, from the very, very beginning, from Gilgamesh all the way up, into every direction, into the Norse, into Russian belief, into Asian belief, Confucianism, Buddhism, Taoism, every type of religion that you could think of. I've studied it because I wanted to win the love of my mother. But sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes the brainwashing is so great that it brainwashes everything else around. So I'll leave that one. But this is why I don't talk religion, because most people will sit back and say, yeah, well, you know, they want you to speak in terms of you know, they want to hear the good things that will come from the Bible, but then they don't want to hear the bad things, which holds them accountable. So, you know, this is the reason I stay away from it. And another reason I stay away from it is because all of humanity is being played, and they're being played by, you know, its own people, because its own. Now we're gonna get back into religion because it all ties in. When you talk about the fall of these entities, whether it's them coming down to the Garden of Eden with Satan and Adam and Eve, or whether it comes to the fallen who came straight to Mount Hermon, and you have the story of Noah. You know what I'm saying? So we know that these entities came down here, but what most people do not know is that they, you know, after the flood, they went in all four corners of the earth. They went in every last direction and became gods themselves. I don't, I'm gonna keep going. Ignore that. Ignore it. Let's ignore that. But persistence, right? Um, so they went off into all four corners of the earth, and they became gods. It was one God here, one God there, one God there, one God there, but they all answered to one. They all answer to one. So, this is why you have different variations in the races, and you have the different belief systems within these races. And they care nothing about the people. They care nothing because, again, these people are not human. They can take on human form, but they're not human. And we see the destruction of what they do. And you have to think about this. You can take any, go back 10 years. And look at what the people wanted. Look at what one party wanted, and look at what another party wanted. And then all of a sudden, the same party, it switches. They're in office, and this is what they want. But now this party wants the complete opposite. And it's always like that. It's always going against the laws of nature. And now, with the backing of the reason that you're seeing so much lying on news that was respectable is because it's all intertwined. It's all intertwined into one. And when you look at things as one story, one life story going, forward, then you understand everything that's going on around you. Like I said, for me, I understand it, so I don't have fear of anything, and I don't take things personal because I understand what's behind the motivation. I understand what's inside of that person that is already causing this. And what we're seeing now, because of consciousness and people are waking up, they're trying to silence. They're literally saying, these entities that are out there, they're like, wait a minute, people are listening. We had to silence this because we've got these people so blinded. So it's like where they say, in the book of, and I say I'm not going to do religion, but it does tie in. As they say in the book of Revelation, they say, get out of Babylon, run, flee. Just like Sodom and Gomorrah, run, flee. There's a reason for that. It's because those people at that time knew what was inside those cities. They know that those entities were there. And I want to leave you with this. I did this in another video. I used this example, but it's always a good example to use. So go back into the earlier videos because I talk about every subject. But I want to end with Lot. And the story of Lot is Lot, the city was so bad, there was so much what we see right now going on in here, what we see, all right? So now he gets this, they knock on his door and they're like, hey, God's going to destroy these two cities, take your family and get out. Now he's trying to bargain and stuff like that. So, couldn't bargain. So now it's him, his wife, and his two daughters. They're heading out into the land. But before they leave, when the people in those cities, they knew that there were two strangers in that city. They went there violently to that house, banging on that door, surrounding the house. Bring those men out that we may know them. Most people read that and they don't have no concept of what that meant. But like I said, I'm a fact checker and I dig for what these words actually mean. What they meant by that was that not to have sex, which is how they portray it to everybody else, and that's because we trust in what we're hearing instead of fact checking for ourselves. And I say that if we're going to solidify ourselves for proper understanding and to hold ourselves straight up and to be unwavering where stress, to go back into that man essence, how, when we were going, and now I'm speaking directly to you, Max, how we were back when we were growing up. And, we had our fathers and, they would always be clean and dressed respectable, you know what I mean? And they always commanded respect around. It was a respect thing, something that we don't have now. But when they say bring the men out that we may know them, it was to know what was going on in their head. Because they had everybody else. They screwed everybody else. They had that whole two cities, they had their minds corrupted. Had them so messed up that they were literally possessed by these entities. So God told them, get out. But to know them was to know this. And this is what we have now in this day and age is called Big Brother. So don't think things change, don't think things go away. All they do is reinvent themselves. So it's up to us to see these things when they're coming for us. But now, when they're on their way out, the wife, now you figure she's got two daughters. She's got a husband, but the two daughters, she's like, oh, nah, I can't do this. I gotta go back. I gotta go back. I got too much. So it just goes to say, that even with the people that we have standing beside us, that those people might not be who we think that they are. And we don't find out who those people are until someone knocks on your door and say, hey, all this is going to be destroyed, all this is going to be taken away from you. All your material possessions are going back, all your vehicles that you own, you'll never drive again. The only thing that's going to enter that box is you. So this is where, you know, we wake up and be conscious. And I want to leave. Remember I said I was going to leave about social media, and this is one thing that I found, and this is to creators who come and they check, you know, check in my channel. What I've noticed is, because I have, you know, with my camera and switching cards and things like that, I have to clear out certain memory. And, you know, and this has been going on ever since I started, but maybe it's been going on a lot longer. No matter what social media venue that you are on, going to, if you have Google, if you have Firefox, whatever your security system is, not who's accessing your account. You want to go to your Google account. And your Google account will give a listing of whatever has access to your Google account. And if they have access to your Google account, they have access to your email, they have access to your messages, they have access to your photos, they have access to more information than what you know. And I have to go in almost every 2 or 3 days just to shut them off. And these are sites that I don't even go into. Think about that. And they're making duplicate files. So I'm not only, when I load my videos into my other sites, they are duplicating. So it would say, okay, your file went into this site, but there's a duplication, and then there's a long serial number that goes across it. And I would try to take those things out, and they're hard to take out, but you got to keep doing it. And the reason that you have to keep, you know, trying to get those things out of there is because once you click onto a social media site, you go into another site, it automatically starts to draw up a duplicate file of every activity and everything that you have said, everything that you have done. So this is why I'm saying, you know, people are more conscious, but we also have, you know, so many that are trying to undo, you know, people from waking up. And that's people from all colors, because remember, there's nothing on this earth that's a mistake. The only mistake is men's mentality, mankind's mentality. That's what's wrong. It's not the world. The world is perfect. Mankind is perfect. Humankind, I mean, is perfect. So it's all up here, and it's what's on this earth that we don't see. So with that, I'm going to say, from the words of Paul, that we are not up against municipalities. We are not up against anything that is seen. We are up against unforeseen forces. They have been here in the past. They've been here since the beginning. And with that, everyone, I want you to be the best people that you can be, and in spite of all this, no matter what your belief system is, it doesn't stop you from being a good person. And with that, everyone, have the most beautiful day that you can possibly have, no matter where you are, men, women, children. I just want to say peace and blessings.